Welcome back. So today we're going to be installing the Black Market Performance cat filter upgrade for 4th gen Cummins 6.7 trucks. These fuel filter housings bolt into the factory locations, so you have the one that's underneath the bed of the truck for the later years, and then the one engine mounted over here. The benefits are that it's a more user-friendly filter change. You have 2 spin-ons versus the spin-on in the canister that's under the engine. The canister is known to be very problematic with getting the O-ring to seal properly. The first time I did the fuel filter change on the truck, I had the O-ring get pinched on me, and the only way to get a new O-ring is to buy a new filter. So $45 later, after already buying a $45 filter, I had an O-ring. To put into perspective, both these filters, brand new from a dealership, are 45 bucks for the pair. So you get 2 filters for the price of one. In the long run, it's going to save you money if you plan on having the truck for a long time, and it's better filtration all around. So they bolt up in the factory location, and we'll start with getting the old ones taken out. So here you can see the original factory fuel filter. Now I have the exhaust and the dry shaft out of the truck currently because I'm wrapping up doing the clutch, but it's not necessary to have both those components out in order to do this. There is room, it's just kind of tight and awkward, but it is possible. But they're out, so it's easier for me to show you anyways. I'm gonna take this done. So you got your water and fuel sensor here that plugs in. The new one comes with an adapter so that you still retain that. And then I believe this is a heater up top, which does not get used. And then your 2 fuel lines, you're in and out right there. So we're gonna get the fuel drain out of it, all the electrical disconnected, and then clean up around here so we don't get any contaminants in the fuel system, and unbolt it. Alright, got the rear done. As you saw, I kind of unbolted it first, dropped it down out of the way, so that way we could get to all the fuel line connections first. Not gonna lie, they are a pain in the ass. What you do is you pull out the red tabs outwards, and then the black one gets spread apart from the inside and goes out the other way, and then they just pull it off. Got the harness there. I filled up that unused plug with dielectric grease so that way it doesn't get all corroded or anything like that. Harness plugged in, new filter on, tight, and tighten up these fittings up there, which this side is a 18 and 18, and that's an 18 and a 17 or 16. Good to go. So move up to the front. So looking from the bottom side up at the housing, we have the feed line to the filter there. That's a heater connection. And down below, let's see, sorry, there is where it gets fed to the injection pump. So we're gonna disconnect what we can down here on the lift, and then we'll drop it down and do the rest of it up on the top side. So there's not enough room for the camera and me up there, but we're gonna disconnect the electrical, and that first fuel line with the red clip, the one on the bottom, can stay because we'll just pull it out as an assembly from the injection pump side. That's all gets replaced. So up on top you can see the fuel filter housing, and there's 2 bolts right there that you're gonna take off. And that's pretty much what's gonna hold the housing on. You do have 1 electrical connector right down there. Slow focus. There you go. That will also have to come off. And then on the pump, you have your return line and your supply line that are both going to come off because they're on that bracket there. So ultimately your supply line is going to get unclipped from the bracket, and then that fitting that the supply line goes into is going to get changed out. So before you do anything up here, you want to make sure you spray it down and brake clean, blow it out with compressed air. You don't want any contaminants at that point, because at that point it's after the filter and there's nothing for filtration there. So you want to make sure your connections are nice and clean when you go to put everything together and take everything apart. So we'll work on getting that filter. So you take that one sensor out of the original housing and you put it into the new one. So I'll get the housing bolted up. It bolts to the upper bolts on the head, and I got the filter on, got the sensor on, the two JIC fittings. I got to get connected for the fuel line. So the one on the right by where the brass plug is, that's the one that feeds the CP3 pump. And the one pointing towards the back of the cab gets adapted to the hose that'll connect to the factory fuel line. We got the line made up, which is a short little jumper line that uses the factory quick disconnect and then goes up top to the JIC fitting. So fuel filter's all wrapped up. We just got to prime it and, you know, check for leaks and everything like that, but we should be good. Now I have a better filtration that's cheaper. So it's a win-win in my book. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next project.